scenarios for the future. We have to discuss such scenarios and not change scenarios because we don't like to change something, to have perspective of it, and new opportunities, of course, of the name of my presentation. Prepositions for strategy. Really, for historians who stay deep into history, they understand that each culture have three important periods. It's burning at the beginning to become more important some years of I will say, perfect times. And of course, after this, we have some declare of situation, and step by step, you get more and more problems, yes. And such cycles exist in all cultures, and we also can see in our times when such changes found a place. But successfully for us, we are one part empire, one part barbarians. These are our possibilities to use our time for making big progress and at the same time lose a lot of things. Some words about geographical situation. Ambassador of Norwegia say about geography is very important question and changing geography in our time. I have a possibility to visit your country this summer and to see progress and at the same time some kind of development of this country. And we also can say something about our national character, which can help us in such situation. And security and stability. Yes, working in Defense and Security Committee in Parliament, take a possibilities to see something in advance. And other topics we can talk. So, about geography. You can see this map. Yes, of course, it's a states, it's a sea. But for me, more important is this map of Baltic Sea with rivers. And if you go deep into history and ask why this or that town was developed, answer will be rivers which take possibility to use all sphere of interest of this town. You can talk about Riga, you can talk about Gdansk, the same. But in our times, Daugava River and the same Wisla rivers are really not used for transportation of means because of different reasons. Because of dams, because of changes, situation. And we, small Lithuania, have possibility to use our rivers. And I can say big success was some weeks ago when Nemunas River was again made navigatable for our time. It takes huge possibilities for Klaipėda city to have not only the town of Klaipėda, but all Lithuania using rivers, transportation of big goods. Yes. So big success, and we are very good position now because we are in the middle of Baltic Sea. You can see historical maps. We have a lot of them. And you always can see that Lithuania having not possibility to support Klaipėda city was continental state. But at the same time, Klaipėda was not developed because they have not support of Lithuania. It was small port, which was conquered by Königsberg, by Danzig this time, by other ports, by Riga. Yes, we are small. But when Lithuania connect Klaipėda, we have possibility to make big success, and last 30 years make so good result that Klaipėda now is one of the best developed port in the Baltic Sea. You can see situation before Ukraine-Russian war, when the most important routes were from St. Petersburg to Germany, using all ports by the way. You can see how such routes looks like when you show all mesh routes and activities of the ships. But really, we are one of the most important port direction from the west to the east. And if you, one more again, get the possibility to use this movement, we can be part of big traffics from the west to the east, the most important trade route of our time. NATO Sea, what it means for us? We have quite secure situation on the Baltic, and you have good way for transportation of goods, because Russia have very limited chances to do something here. And maybe it will be the first time after 1721, Nystadt peace, when Russia dominates Baltic Sea for the century. You can see about situation of security situation in our region, and we can see that Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania, also Poland, have now quite big support from NATO countries. And such support is not only support, but at the same time is traveling of people, of military people, who support such. And when you invest in security, you can also invest into trade and into the blue economy. Of course, we can meet other scenarios like this, that somebody attack to Baltic states. And some partners of Lithuania in the West saw that we are in quite unsecure situation. We have to calculate such chances also. But generally, we have two directions, from the west to the east, and you can see that Klaipėda is really on the way, or you can have from the south to the north. But this way also can be used for Klaipėda. So we are on the crossroad of two important axes of trade axes. So very good geographical or geopolitical situation. Situation with climate changes. You can see differences. 1946, after Second World War, big part of Baltic Sea was in ice, and Klaipėda was the south one open port for each year, full the year. Now situation is changed, and of course more ports can be active during all seasons, yes, but Klaipėda is still in one of the best position in Baltic Sea. Of course, climate became warmer, but for Lithuania is quite good time for tourism, because you have only 3 weeks or 2 weeks of bad weather really in this region. We have a lot of new infrastructure buildings close to the Klaipėda, which take possibility to have your own energy. It means that you are a self-sustainable system now in Klaipėda. Scenarios for the future. It's quite theoretically one, but you have always calculating building of strategy. It's a, I will say, weak point of our strategy to 2050, when you not talk about bad scenarios. You have always calculate in your brain, because in each business, in state business, you have to evaluate situation. So white, gray, and black scenarios. What is white scenario? It means that Belarus and Ukraine and maybe western part of Russia will be more or less influenced by the West culture. And in this case, we have completely perfect situation. And this axis from the west to the east shows that Lithuania can make huge progress, never have before. Understand situation, never in thousands of years. We have in the best situation now. But of course, we need to have energy security and stability, and we have enlargement of the democratic world. We are preparing for this? No. We have no scenarios for Belarus. We have even no scenarios for Ukraine, more or less, and no scenarios for the Russia. We have no scenarios for our neighbors, but we have to develop them here in Lithuania, in Latvia, in Estonia, in Poland. Because people who live in Belarus, they have no alternatives really. We only talk about possibility to stop somebody, but we have to think about future. It will be quite successful, I hope. Gray scenario, something like we have now. Maybe we'll have the same. Of course, it will be limits somewhere in Ukraine, maybe in Belarus, will be border state. Border state is quite also good position, because being in border state, you are bridge between the East and West. Sometimes it helps, sometimes not, but very unsecure situation. So much more better to have white scenario, of course. But even we stay in this scenario, it will be quite good for us. I found black scenario. Do you know what it is? What is it? It's a map of interest of Russian Empire in 1914, 100 years ago, at the beginning of First World War. It's map of ambitions. But you can see such things like Russian Mesopotamia. But I can say for you that something exists in Russian brain today like this. Definitely like this. Yes, and we have always calculate of the interest of this country that they will have some ideas for the future. And not say that not exist. Exist. Can be. Yes. But if you have also black scenario, you are strong because you are prepared for of the facts can happen in the next years. About more positive things. New opportunities. I can say about improvement of security situation. Really, we are now much more stronger than we have 3 years ago. Because this war in Ukraine, our society, which are what stronger than before, organization system, Germany brigades, also possibilities to get support from Germany, from Poland, from Norwegia, from Denmark, from Canada, from United Kingdom, takes possibilities to sustain in our quite unsecure region for the long time. Of course, we can develop our ties with other countries, but very important to balance powers. Not to say about Germany projects, but also support Polish projects. Support Sweden way to NATO is very important point, yes, because we still have very limited connection with this country. At the same time, we have to improve our port security systems. Yes, we need to invest into this, and this is a part of some security part of our strategy we will developing next 2 years, next 2 months with our Navy. And of course, very good ideas that we have regional projects for Baltic countries which have connections between countries. Sometimes we have to have our own systems for all the region, not only to have national one. What we need for connection and interconnections. Railroad to Klaipėda, of course, for both sides, yes, to use west and east systems of railroad. Transport ties with Scandinavian countries, trucks and ferries, very successful. I was in Norway and see a lot of Lithuanian trucks which are going in this country. Really, we have concentrate on this and have more and more developed systems which connect all Baltic Sea shores. Of course, leadership in container, including Nemunas River port, we have today to do because it takes possibilities for us. Human resources, I will say, is the most weak point of Lithuania for the next 3 decades. It's human resources, and not only quantity, but also quality. We have to invest into our education system, especially in our region. And the region of Klaipėda is not only Klaipėda district, but also Tauragė and Telšiai districts, because we will get people from this region. And when you have prepared people, you can develop your business. Otherwise, you will stop in 10 or 20 years. And of course, culture, maritime culture, will help to educate such people for the maritime affairs and to the blue economy as well. Nemunas River. Now we have from Kaunas to Klaipėda. But we have to invest more to the even Grodno in the future Belarus. If we have these possibilities, we can transport goods from Belarus using rivers. Also, connection to Vilnius. It's quite brave, I will say, scenarios, but I will say our organization of Lithuania was so successful that can do this in the next 10 or 20 years. our region is not developed as good as possible. We know that we need more and more people and more educated people. So new ideas can be brainstormed for this to have more people in the region, because otherwise we have no future. And more connection to Sweden. Now we have some connections, but really we need connection to Stockholm, connection to Karlskrona, because it's cultural roots. And cultural roots takes possibilities to cooperate between Sweden and Lithuania and Norway with Lithuania. Yes, we have to do this, and it's possible to make in 5 years, I will say. So it's final my presentation. Thank you very much, and please take your ideas for maritime strategy for Lithuania, and I think that next May we will meet in Vilnius. Thank you very much.